The letter here, prior to this letter, when I came back from the service, I was put back in the service. I was sent to Baltimore, the home base down there, Fort Meade. I was put into motor pool, and I was the only one that I know of that had Army, still had Army license. I had lost it when being a POW, but when I came back, they gave me my license back. I still have it. I was called to the office and told me that I would be back in the motor pool and it would be assigned to a Jeep. It would be my Jeep, and I was free to use it, you know. But they didn't tell me at that time that there would be a captain in charge of me. I was going to be a chauffeur to a captain, an American captain. Well, this captain was from Geneva, Switzerland. He was attaché to Geneva, Switzerland International Red Cross. I told him my story about being a captive over in Germany and what because I wore a special ID, that leather badge. I don't know, I showed you that leather badge with my name on it, and he knew I was in a special category. And he told me who he was, and he says, I can help you. He says to find out what is going on or what happened. So he says, you should sit down and you write a story of what happened. I told him about my appendix and all that stuff, and he says, you write a letter, and he says, I'll take care of it. So evidently he wrote it, or he copied it, and sent a copy to Geneva, Switzerland. I got a letter back from Geneva, Switzerland, which I still have in Switzerland's paper, and they said they had accepted this letter. Starting, I'll read it as I wrote it. It says, information concerning capture and imprisonment. Was captured by the Germans February 18, 1943, in or about the Kasserine Pass, North Africa. Was taken by truck to Sfax bullpen for about 3 a.m. on February 8, 1943, 5 days without food or water. There were Germans taking us prisoners by plane to Sicily, where they had made us crack rock for daylight till dark, with very little to eat. All of us Americans prisoners refused to work unless they would give us more to eat, but they didn't, so we had to work anyway. We were in Sicily from the end of February till sometime in April. From Sicily, they took us by airplane to Italy. A town I believe was Capua. Now how it's pronounced I don't know. Then by freight train, boxcars to a town. They'd hold us about a month there They held us about a month there from by train, boxcars, 50 men to a car without food or water, and all these rides were about 5 to 20 days. A small town about 20 miles from Munich, Germany. At this camp they had a large group, I guess, or members of Russian prisoners. French prisoners told us that the Germans buried 30 to 40,000 of Russian prisoners, because typhus had the camp there for a time, hit the camp from time to time. American soldiers taken out to work camps. It was in the camp about a month. The food was 2 potatoes and 1 slice of black bread. I was then moved to Stalag 3B, Furstenberg, Germany. In a camp, we were treated like a dog. the Americans were shot just for for showing. They would shoot you just for showing us that the Germans were the tough. They put us to work on a railroad, and they worked camp. My appendix, I was at the work camp, my appendix bursted. The German refused to operate. The Serbian prisoners operated on me and saved my life. I was operated on July the 10th, 1943, until the end of September 1943. From there, by train, boxcar, to a town in East Prussia called EXSO. We were put on large farms to work from daylight to dark, 7 days a week, rain or shine, 2 potatoes, a little piece of bread a day. Or about the first week in December 1944, the Germans put us on a road, and we walked to the Elbe River, and was until April the 11th, in April 11th, 45, to April the 12th, 3 American tanks, 65 miles into the German lines. We were recaptured by them. We were recaptured by them. We stayed there and fought for 2 days till the American lines came up to the Elbe River. Then us prisoners were sent to France and then to the States. I weighed only 90 pounds and weight arriving back in the United States, 160 pounds when captured. That's what he sent to Geneva. So to take it for what it's worth. But this thing's here, I just realized what's in here. I thought I was on a potato farm when they picked me up. They threw me in the ass end of a pickup truck.